Shalom, I want to self source, but give no praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles of great Most High, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the real name with whom the world daily calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh, and his son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, meaning in, meaning then Sham, meaning names, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Seen this title from the apostle Gabar, and immediately was like, yo, I need to do a vid in a similar vein, right? So without any further ado, because it is true, one of the things that one has to understand about the Most High is the duality of the Most High. It's the same thing with the chariots, the duality of the chariots, right? The chariots are gonna be zapping, and the chariots also gonna be saving, right? So it is very much a thing about like for instance, as has just come to mind, right, in terms of that wacky tacky, right? It says Matthew 22:29, right? Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of the Most High, right? And that's it. A lot of these people don't actually understand the scriptures, and also they don't understand the nature of Yahushua. For instance, you get certain of these Christians are like, oh, God is all love, this, that, and the other, when that is not what the case is. Look what he did to his people. Look what he did to the children of Israel, man. His the apple of his eye. Hey, the Lord brought us low. Hey, you watch, those videos, the World Star or whatever, and you just seeing just Jake being a bunch of degenerates, man, right? The Lord brought us low, right? Here it is. We're supposed to be the Lord's chosen, and it's like I was trying to think and talk at the same time, but here it is supposed to be the Lord's chosen. But what we're doing is we're just muddying the Lord's name. Right, in fact, let me just go into that real quick, and then also it's like it's while I'm just trying to remember it. It's in Lamentations. That's what I know. Yeah, back there, Bashem Shai. All right, so first things first is Ezekiel 36 and 18. 17. Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed throughout the countries, right, through the countries, according to their way and according to their doings I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen whither they went, they profaned my holy name. And when they said, they profaned my holy name, when they said to them, these are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. All right, so wherever Jake went in our different captivities, right, we were, just profaning the name of the Lord even more, right? And then this is the one, Lamentations 2:15, one I was looking for, right? So all that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth, right? So if the Lord can bring us up and then bring us down so low, right, once again, you just look at some of the things that Jake be doing, just like being ratchet as hell, right? Just doing dumb ninja shit, man, right? So if the Lord can do that to us, then how much more so these different heathen nations? One of the precept comes to mind, right? Jeremiah 49 and 12, right? And once again, also it's like if the Lord can do that to his own, his chosen, his beloved, right? Put him in captivity, right? Hey, when Herod was trying to look for Yahushua, he ordered all males under a certain age to get put to death, right? Then that was males of Israel. Look at 70 A.D. The Lord did that to who? To the children of Israel. So this idea the Lord is all love, right, isn't is made up, man. Right, this is Jeremiah 49 and 12 on the previous point. Right? It says, "For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup." And what's that cup? You think about slavery, right? And here, once again, where the Lord's chosen, and hey, yo, we drank, right? He says, "Have assuredly drunken," right? It says, but then in response, it says, "And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished," right? So, yo, right? My chosen, my peoples, right, weren't, it weren't their lot to, to end up in the position that they were in, but I put them in that position. So what about you, right? It says, "Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it," right? So the Lord's gonna make Esau drink the dregs of that cup, man, right? And and he's really gonna be doing that in our kingdom, right? In our kingdom, and even that is duality in itself. Because here it is, this is Esau's kingdom, and Jake is through to the point where all these different heathen nations know us for slavery. That's all they bloody know us for. Right, here it is. Others of these heathen nations have gone through, different rapes, different reason, because there's a whole thing with, like, in, forget which country, it's Korea and Japan, where it's like, the whole thing about comfort women, right, and all of that sort of stuff. But that's not what people think about when they think of Korea. It's not what, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's not what people think of when they think of Japan, right? China was through just 50 or so years ago, man. China was through. Yet people, even to this day, you have certain parts of China that are in abject poverty. But when people think of China, they ain't thinking about that. When people think of Jake, on the other hand, right, they think of how low we have been brought, and that's here in Esau's kingdom. So the duality is in our kingdom, right? When Jake finally can get some rest, right? When Jake finally, can chill, guess what? Esau primarily, and all these heathen nations, they ain't gonna chill because they've got to pay, right? They got to pay for what it is that they've done to the children of Israel, right? For that 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years, the Edomites, the so-called white people, they'll be done away with, right? And then in these different heathen nations, they'll just become tributaries to the nation of Israel. Right? They gonna do we gonna say jump, and they gonna say how high, right? But you know what? They ain't gonna say how high. They gonna say how high are the one, how high are the one, right? They're gonna be begging, right? So I'm gonna get just a few contrasting supposedly precepts, right? This is Isaiah 45 5-7. It says, "I am Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me." Right? It's the Lord saying, "Look, man, I'm Him." Right? It says, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, right, that there is none beside me. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. Right? It says, "I form the light and create darkness. I'll make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things." So yeah, the Lord's saying, "Look, man, anything happens, look, I did that. It was me," right? But then you contrast that with, say, Psalm 37 and 26, says, "He is ever merciful and lendeth, and the seed is blessed." And the same again in Amos 3 and 6, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh hath not done it?" Right? So anything that happens in this world, the Lord did it. The Lord controlled it, right? People like, once again, these wacky tackies like say, "Oh yeah, it was Satan that did X, Y, Z." Look, man, Satan can't do anything outside the bounds of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Satan is just one of the children of the Most High, right? Just doing the bidding of the Most High. Right? You can read about that in Job the 1st and Job the 2nd chapters. This is Psalms 18 and 25. With the merciful thou wilt show with the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful, and with the upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. Right? And that there really encompasses everything, right? Because ultimately, when we look at the Lord being merciful, right? The Lord is ultimately merciful to the children of Israel, but all merciful in general, right? As has been a topic of conversation when this whole thing about hell, that hell demon started floating around Israel, right? Because for someone to just burn eternally, right? That the Lord ultimately is mercy. Even look at Esau, right? Even the fact, and remember, I believe the post was going into it, uh, either this week, I think last week, right? Just even the fact, Lord is gonna do away with these Edomites, right? Even that's a mercy. Okay, so ultimately, the Most High is just merciful, man, right? But the children of Israel were special unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is a Sirach 39 and 28 as a contraster. It says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, and which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire, hell, and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, teeth of wild beasts, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction." Right, and that's it. When quote unquote evil shit is happening in the world, right? It's judgment from the Most High, right? We'll grab that real quick in Micah, right? This is Micah 7 and 9, right? "I'll bear the indignation of Yahweh because I've sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, right? He'll bring me forth to light, and I shall behold his righteousness," right? So, and even this is comforting, right? When we're going through whatever it is we're going through, right? Just understanding that actually we're going through it because we sinned against Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? And we deserve it ultimately we deserve everything that we get. Okay, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as the saying goes, right? But even in this, right, Mike is saying, look, man, until the day that, let's look into this word, please. Okay, please, it's a different word, right? Rayab, right? But even the fat Mike is saying, look, man, yeah, Lord's brought me low right now, but you know what? There's gonna come a time, right, when the Lord is gonna plead my cause, and he's gonna execute the judgment. He's gonna deal with these nations, man. And that's basically the where we're at, right? We're just waiting, right? Zephaniah 3 and 8. "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy," right? So that's all we can do. All we can do is wait upon the Lord, right? But then there's gonna come a time when our waiting is gonna be fulfilled, and the Lord is gonna start bringing some whoop ass, right? We can already see the beginnings of the Lord visiting this earth, right? Because because our eyes are open, right? Unlike these other people in the world, right? But back to Sirach, then you got this as well, right? This is Psalms 103 and 8. "The Lord Yahweh is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy," right? He says he will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. And we're waiting for the Lord's anger to be abated of us, right? Abated, I don't know if that's right, but basically, we're waiting for the Lord's anger to be turned from us to the heathen nation, right? And the fact that the Lord is opened up our eyes to this truth, right? That is starting, that is we're in a process of that, right? We're watching our enemies as they start catching hell, right? As Apostle Tahar was bringing out the other day, right? You have the time of Jacob's troubles, or the time of Esau's trouble, or the time of Moab's trouble, right? Because at the end of the day, this MOTB is going to be pushed out to all the earth. This is Hebrews 10:31. "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power," right? And what does it say? Proverbs 1:7. "The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction," right? Because ultimately, hey, we got to fear the Lord, right? Something that always pops in my mind whenever Satan, Satan, Satan plagues us all, right? Different ways. Satan trying to play my mind, and I'll just be like, look, man, don't be trying to do that shit. The Lord will kill you, right? And it's real. The Lord will kill you, right? And hey, sometimes the Lord will do things that are worse than killing you. Okay. Sometimes the Lord will do things that are worse than killing you, man. You think about our King David, right? He committed adultery and then he had to watch his as his son died, right? You can read that account where King David was, he was praying constantly. I believe he was fasting. I don't fully remember the story, right? But like he was praying, continue begging the Most High to spare the life of his son, right? But guess what? The Lord killed his son. So it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, right? And then once again, Psalms 117, right? Oh, praise Yahweh, all ye nations. Praise him, all ye people. For his merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of Yahweh endureth forever. Praise ye Yahweh, right? And that's it. The Lord is merciful. Ultimately, the Lord is merciful, right? But then also the duality as well of the chariots, right? Because on the one hand, they're coming to destroy, bring a great destruction. But on the other hand, they're also coming to bring a great deliverance. So Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, right? And those clouds referring to chariots. It says, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. Right? So why are they gonna be wild? Why ain't they gonna be having a street party? Why ain't they gonna be like, ooh, all celebrating? Why? Because the Lord's gonna be doing a lot of killing when he comes back. Scripture says in Isaiah, the slain of the Lord shall be many. This is 2 Ezra 13 and 8. From 8, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, because the Lord's going to put the spirit in them, right, to fight against him. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongues he cast out tempests. And this is talking about the lasers coming out of the chariots. It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So Ezra saw the destruction, right, of these different nations, like these different like fighter jets, and that are gonna be trying to fight against the chariots of the Lord, right? Because the Lord is just gonna be zapping them. He's gonna be sending out them laser beams, and laser beams are gonna be doing what they're doing. But then the duality of that is 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. The dead in Mashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So the elect, right, that are alive and remaining, right, they going get beamed up, right, they're going to get beamed up into the chariots, man. Right, that's what I mean. By caught up together with them in the clouds, right? It says in verse 18, wherefore comfort one another with these words. So these words are a comfort unto us, right? Remember years and years ago, right? There's a guy that I used to train with, used to go gym with this geezer, right? A kid I'd kind of grown up with, right? He was eating, was telling them certain things. He was eating, right? And then told him about the nukes, and he was like, oh shit. And I was like, yo, so how are you gonna be saved, right? And then I was like, yeah, man, the chariots. And then that was, everyone has their thing that makes them choke. The chariots was just a bit too much for him, right? But that's a comfort, right? Because this is it. When those sirens are being blasted, when the news says, look, man, the missiles from Russia are gonna arrive in 10 minutes, right? Hey, the elect that's over there in the land of America, they gonna be alright, right? Right? They're gonna be alright ultimately. Yeah, it's scriptures do say the righteous shall scarcely be saved, right? But it's that hope and knowing that if that individuals of the elect, that ultimately they're going to get beamed up. Right? So that is a comfort unto us, right? A comfort also is Revelation 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Right? And this is talking about, in the ozone layer, right? When I be on the chariot and the ozone layer, just looking down, seeing what's up. Right? It says, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. Right? So it's gonna be, fearful but a joyous occasion also. Right? As we watch America get pelted with the nuclear missiles, the land of our captivity, the land of great wickedness upon the earth. But the chariots are also going to be there. They're going to be there to to save and to protect the elect from these things. So, as always, Lord's will, I was edifying. Until next time, we say Shalom.